Hey guys, welcome to another episode of ARWP, the All Real Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Eric Novak, and today I bring you a special interview because this one's a big one. It is with Danny LimeLight. I cannot wait for you guys to watch this one, especially with the fact that he's got a match tonight on New Japan against Rocky Romero, and the build up to this is crazy. Go check it out. I'll see you guys at the end of the video. Hope you enjoy it. Danny LimeLight.
What's going on, baby? How you doing, man? ARWP. I'm happy to be here. I really appreciate you guys taking your time to bring me on the show. What's up, man?
Of course, man. Thank you so much for being on. We're huge fans, and we cannot wait to hear your story, your obstacles, and everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk.
All right, so tell me why you wanted to be a pro wrestler. Tell me why that crazy idea got in your head.
Well, I think pro wrestling was always something I wanted to do as a kid. It's one of my little dreams, that and acting. But Puerto Rican kid from Brooklyn, you tell your teacher you want to be a wrestler when you grow up, or you want to be an actor. They look at you like they're crazy because some people in New York are so close-minded they can't see anything bigger than just going to school, getting a job, or getting arrested. And so it was something I always wanted to do. And when I came out to Southern California, I never knew what independent wrestling was. I only knew WWF and WCW from back in the day. I had stopped watching wrestling when I was in high school because, it was the cool thing to do. And I found independent wrestling randomly, I bought The Rock's DVD at Target. It's like his top 10 greatest matches or something like that. And I watched it with my daughter. And then my daughter's mom at the time, she had never seen wrestling. And so I looked online to see when WWE was coming to town, and, see it would be a cool date night kind of thing. And they were coming the next week. I bought the tickets. We went. I ran into somebody there, to tell me they was training to be a pro wrestler. I thought it was funny because I didn't know you can do that, Mm-hmm. I didn't know what process was. I didn't know what, independent was. I didn't know what Ring of Honor was. I didn't know what New Japan was. None of this stuff, AAA, nothing. Like I just didn't know. So it was all new to me. And so he gave me the address. I showed up to this pro wrestling school. I started training in August of 2014, made my debut in October of 2014. Then I had my first singles match in December of 2014 in the main event of a show. And the rest is history, man. I've been rocking since.
Yeah, man. You have some insane matches. You versed some big names. You have a pretty big resume on you. So tell me, how you found the school. Tell me about, first time training and maybe even your first match, if you remember it that far back, when you first, laced up the boots and got in the ring.
So, training, yeah, man, it was nothing like I expected, I showed up and there was people running the ropes, taking bumps, working on moves and stuff like that. And I didn't know what to expect when I got in there. I took my first bump. It sucked. I remember going home and having bruises on my back from hitting the mat so many times. I remember the bruising from hitting the ropes hard so many times. But it was fun. I felt like, being a Marine at the time, I was physically fit. I was in great shape. I had a lot of stamina and endurance. So it wasn't too hard on me. And I was naturally athletic because my background in parkour and stuff like that and sports and stuff like that. So it was an easy transition, but it was still hard work, Mm-hmm. First match, I wrestled Mike Camden for his championship in the main event. I was a heel at the time. And it was a fun match. I think we went about 11 minutes. Just back and forth action, put some heat on him. He did his thing. It was good. It was a good first match he was the 2015 Rookie of the Year. So it was, he was a 2014 Rookie of the Year. So being in the ring with the Rookie of the Year, who's, somebody that was coming up on the SoCal wrestling scene and being able to have a match with him one-on-one, I think it was a good way to get my feet wet, and mm-hmm. I think that every match that came after that. And, somewhere along the line, I stopped affiliating myself with that school because the owner was a piece of shit. And David Marquez from Championship Wrestling from Hollywood gave me a call, said he liked the way I looked. He had some ideas for me. He wanted to bring me to TV for Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. So within a year of making my debut, I was wrestling on national television with my partner, Gino Rivera. We were with the Los Primos Rivera, and we were just rocking and rolling in the tag division. I never had an inspiration to be a tag team wrestler, but with him, our chemistry was just so natural. Everything felt so good. And when I started wrestling for Hollywood, that's when my name started really drawing more traction. I started wrestling in bigger independent companies in San Diego. And that's when Conan saw me and brought me to the Crash in Mexico. And then after that, the rest really took off from there. So I'm just grateful to have David Marquez who gave me that huge opportunity when he did, when I didn't have nobody, and then I didn't have a school to train at, but I started training with Lil Cholo and Mariachi Loco. I don't know if you know who they are, but they were on Lucha Underground as the Rabbit. So started training with them. I started training with Paul London a bit. Then I started training with people like John Morrison, Damian Sandow, Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, Jake Atlas, all one-on-one sessions, just grinding it out. And, I'm super thankful to be able to train with these guys that are so talented because they just help elevate my game. But I really, thank Mariachi Loco and Cholo for the extra work that they put in with me because that's what I think really took my game to the next level. And yeah, man, it's been great. It's been a ride.
That's awesome. It's good that you had people looking out for you and helping you out, when others wouldn't and would waste your time and feed you lies. I get exactly what you're saying. There's a lot of promotions that say they'll make you into this big thing and they'll work hard on you and then they just give up on you, or they just take your money. It happens. There's been multiple stories. But, it still blows my mind that you were a heel in your first match because you're like the biggest, in my opinion. I'm watching your matches with, Sammy Guevara, Ice Williams. You're the baby face. But that does not necessarily mean like, oh, you're like every kid's favorite. No, I'm saying you're the good guy. You're the superhero. You got the whole SpiderMan logo. You got the I Am Groot tattoo. You got all that. You're the hero. So it's so hard for me to envision you as a bad guy, Like, it's very unique. Do you like being the face? Or would you prefer being a heel?
So for me, I think that, it was learning how to be a heel out the jump was challenging. Learning the psychology, how to break down an opponent, how to work the opponent, control the pace of the match. I think it was a great way for me to start. I was very cocky. I was very arrogant. I was very flashy. I drew a lot of heat, but because I was so athletic and I was so innovative with my moves, the fans naturally wanted to cheer me. I remember like my first few shows, a lot of my friends would come out to all my shows. And wanted to cheer for me, but they knew that I was the bad guy, so they had to boo me and heckle me and stuff like that. And it just didn't feel natural for me to be bad at that point. All these fans pictures with me, they were buying, literally, I was having to buy new merchandise over and over and make new shirts because my merchandise was selling out at shows 1 year in the business. And so it was just like, okay, I guess I gotta be a face, But then Marquez at Hollywood, they wanted me and Gino as heels, and I think we did a good job as the Primos being heels on TV, being a big part of the Hollywood tag team division. And when I started really taking off as a singles competitor, it was evident that I needed to turn babyface. And so I started rocking and rolling as a babyface, and then I went away for a little bit because of the military. And when I came back, it was the year of the Spider. And like super over, like all my gear was different kind of spider suits from the comic books, my favorite comics. And so that was super over, and it was just rocking, and I've been a face since. But there's been times where like a promoter flies me across country to another state to wrestle, and they want me to face their baby face, so I got to turn the heel switch on, which I know how to do very well now. Like now, for me, it's so much easier to be a heel than to be a face. I like being a face because I like getting the kids behind me. I like the kids coming up to me and like wanting to take pictures, and I like the fans loving and cheering for me. But then when I'm a heel, I like being able to control the pace of the match. I like being able to talk some shit and have a good time and break my opponent down. So it's fun, man. Both sides of the spectrum is fun. They both bring out two complete different sides of me. I'm very good at both, in my opinion. Obviously, I still have a lot to learn, but it's fun, man. It's an adventure.
Yeah, I'm loving your character. Like, don't get me wrong. A lot of people held that Spider-Man look. You had, like, Spider Warrior, or you got, Ricochet wearing the Miles Morales stuff, or Osprey, who probably nailed, the Spider-Man look. He was probably the first one who did it. A lot of people put on the Spider-Man mantle and did that, but no one fits it as you do. Like you said, if they find me out to be a heel, I'll wear the Venom one. I'll wear the black and white gear. If I'm like with Sammy Guevara and we're both, I'll be anti-Venom. I'll wear the white and black one,
Yeah.
I'm loving the fact that you got the look for each character. You represent the Spider-Man. If you're being a bad guy, well, you're still gonna be Spider-Man. You're just gonna be the Spider-Man 3 version of Spider-Man. Like it's all that, which is awesome, and I'm loving that. And it's good to be both face. It's good to be both heel. It's good to know what you prefer. That's the best thing. But let's talk about some of your matches. Like I brought up Sammy Guevara. love that match. One of the most interesting matches, just because almost half of it was a promo. Like, you guys did not start the match. You waited for everyone to shut up. Like I love that, because not much wrestling is that open with fans. Like, you brought up, you went to WWE. Do you ever feel anything when you went to WWE event to these independent scenes? Do you ever feel like any similarities to like the love between the fans and the wrestlers?
It's very different. The independent scene. I think the independent fans are so passionate about the business. They love us. They want to see us at the WWE level or the AEW level or the New Japan level or the Impact level. Like, they want to see us there, and so it's just so much. I feel like there's just so much passion behind the fans. With WWE, yeah, they have hardcore passionate fans, of course, but then they have the casual fans. They just want to have a date night or want to bring the kids to see wrestling. So, I really enjoy being on the independents. Obviously, there's always a bigger goal, but the year the Spider went away, I'm representing. I kind of went back to my Los Primos roots now, but for me, now I'm rocking. Representing Puerto Rico again, representing New York City, and I'm just really doing that. I'm still innovative in the ring. I'm still athletic. I'm still agile, and I still give the fans what they want to see. But now I'm more Danny LimeLight Rivera than Spidey LimeLight. It became too much Spidey LimeLight, and I still want to stay true to who I am as well. And I do believe that I am fucking real life SpiderMan, but I don't want to be branded as a Marvel character. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, because I've had multiple people on who have, tried the Spider-Man look, and the reason why they don't do it is because of the lawsuits. You can't go to a major company being Spider-Man. There's copyright, there's this and that. That's what I totally understand. I'm just saying, I didn't want to, if I made it sound like that's who you are, that's not what I meant. I just meant that you were the best version of anyone.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that compliment, because there has been like Ricochet and Will Ospreay that have done it. They're amazing in the ring. So thank you so much for that.
Of course. And again, I'm loving your new gear that you bust out in New Japan. The whole, like you said, representing, all that. Amazing. And we're going to talk about your gear. We're going to talk about, the changes and what you decided to do with it. But let's get back to what I was saying. So the Sammy Guevara match was amazing. You hit promos, you fought, and then you even super kicked a fan. Was that planned? I gotta know, because I'm over here watching this, and I'm like, things that happen at any point.
I try to kick Sammy's head off, and he moved, and I ended up destroying one of the fans' face. So,
was that real though? Like between us, was that
everything that happens in the wrestling ring is real, baby?
Okay, I like
everything
that.
is.
This
everything
is called the All Real Wrestling Podcast.
Move the fuck out the way,
That was hilarious, because what you said after, you were like, I hope it doesn't sue, and then you went right back into the match. Love it, man. Love the matches, love the character. So let's talk about, this year. The pandemic hit. It's been hard for a lot of people. Thankfully, we are seeing you in the ring casually almost every Friday. You had a banger with TJP, I believe a couple weeks ago, and then you had one last year, if I'm not wrong, with TJ, where you picked up the dub. He picked the dub this week. You gotta run that back again. And he even said that.
That's what I told TJ, man. Yo, shout out to TJ Perkins. I told him, it's 1-1 by my count. We gotta run that rematch back. We need that trilogy. TJP is one of the best in the world to ever do it. Shout out to TJP. I definitely learned a lot just by being in the ring with him, sitting down, talking to him afterwards and stuff like that, and just keeping our friendship going and stuff like that. It's a friendly competition. It's a friendly rivalry we got going on. We obviously want to bring out the best in each other and stuff like that. But he's awesome, man, and we do need to have another one. And shout out to New Japan Pro Wrestling for allowing me to make my debut by getting into the ring with someone like TJ Perkins, and I think that is very, very. It was a very special moment, and it was a great match. I agree, and I had a lot of fun, and I just can't wait to do it again. Shout out to Rocky Romero for bringing me out to New Japan too, man. That's my dude, man.
Yeah, man. That match stole the show. I remember watching with my friends. I have a group of friends that will always watch, because we're big TJP fans. My friend. Like you said, he's the guy. He's the reason why I fell in love with wrestling. There's that ambition. Watching him match them stole the show. It was insane, the chemistry level. And knowing that you have a dub over him from last year, knowing that this is going to be like a trilogy thing, we need it through. And like you said, we need it. We're going to get it, hopefully, soon. But like you said, Rocky Romero, you got a big match tomorrow. We're all going to be watching. You got a tag match with Rocky. So you brought up Rocky. You said he's the one who brought you in. Tell me what we could see in the future. Is this just a tour? Are you just on tour, or has New Japan spoke to you about doing more U.S.? Because New Japan has opened up, I believe, somewhere in the beginning of this year, where they said they're trying a lot harder to get the U.S. On board with New Japan by doing a lot of U.S. shows. I went to my first U.S. show back, I believe, November. And they started coming at, New York City. They started going to Florida, all that. Are you signed up for any other tours, or is it just this one for now, due to like the timing and the situation?
So with New Japan, I can't disclose too much detailed information, but what I will say is that if people want to see Danny LimeLight consistently, then they better just tune in to New Japan Strong every Friday. That's all I can say right now. Tomorrow, teaming with DKC to take on Rocky Asuka Romero and Adrian Quest, making his debut in New Japan. It's going to be a huge tag match. For everybody that follows me on social media knows that Rocky Romero has been keeping his eye on me over the last few weeks. He was very impressed with my matches. And I know that tomorrow when people tune in, they're going to like what they see when it comes to, me, Rocky, Quest, and DKC.
Of course.
They tune in every Friday to New Japan Strong. That's all I can say.
Bro, that's the top of the game right now. Right now, wrestling, it's crazy because, yes, there's a pandemic. Yes, a lot of wrestlers are unfortunate. A lot of wrestlers, can wrestle. And it's like, right now, the wrestling companies that can do shows, the ones that have the money, aren't really doing good product, for me at least. Like, I tune into Impact. Impact's amazing. And even them, they have, like, a small roster. And so,
shout outs to Chris Bay.
The Finesse
Impact,
division.
that's my dude, man. I got to give a shout out to Chris Bay. That's
he was
my boy.
on. We had him on. He had so much to say. I would love to see you on Impact. Hopefully Impact, calls you up. We'll get you on Impact.
If anybody has Fight TV, they could go watch Impact Unbreakable. I made my debut last summer in Impact. It was a 5-way for the X Division Championship. It was me, Trey Miguel, Ace Austin, Jay Chris, and Adrian Quest. We had a 5-man scramble for the X Division Championship. I think it was one of my best showings ever on a pay-per-view. And hopefully, I get a call from Impact soon, man. I told Chris, he was the Finesse Division champion.
Yeah.
He lost his championship, and I told him, I said, look, Chris, you have your people call my people. Let's run this back. I've wrestled Chris 3 times in 3 different states. I beat him once, he's beat me twice. But I want to run it again. Let's make it a best of 5.
Of course. It's amazing because the list you got, like Chris Bay has a whole list of people. And it's amazing because when I got Chris Bay, it was the first time I ever heard of him. When I booked Chris Bay on my podcast, he was just an independent rising star. I didn't know much about him. And then I looked at his stuff, and he's been like internet famous. Every wrestler wants to verse him. He hasn't even been on like big company. He just made his debut to Impact literally a couple months ago. And he's already being, hunted down for that spot, which is amazing. But I would love to see the best of 5. Definitely gonna.
Yeah. Talk about a list of people, man. Let me run people that I watch that may not know me, that listen to your podcast and your shows. About people that I've wrestled. I've been in the ring with Chris Bay. I've been in the ring with TJ Perkins, Sammy Guevara, Penta El Cero Miedo, Ray Phoenix. I've been in the ring with Ray Horace. I've been in the ring with Jeff Cobb, PJ Black, Fred Rosser, known as Darren Young in WWE, Rocky Romero. I've been in the ring with plenty of people that have done amazing things in this business, and it's just I feel very fortunate to have had the opportunity to get into the ring and wrestle these guys, and to stand across the ring from such amazing people in this business that's done so much, it's truly a blessing. And it's like one of those things where you grow up watching people, and then when you're grinding and you're learning to be a big player in this business, you see the people that are grinding at the top, and you want to get to that level. You want to step in the ring with them, and then you're having matches with them, and it's phenomenal. It really is.
No, yeah, like I said, you have a big, resume of matches. Anyone could check that out. You did wrestle, and you still are currently, scheduled. Even before the pandemic, you had big matches coming in. We just gotta wait to see what happens, in the next few weeks. But I do have to ask because, maybe you can't tell me this on camera or on video, so maybe after. But were you gonna be on the Best of Super Junior? I know a couple people said yes. People that I've had on the podcast that. The fact that you're over here smiling, I've heard a lot. I'm not gonna say it because they usually tell me after. But I'm curious if you can give me that information on video. If you can't, then I'll change the question. But would you have been a part of or gonna? It's hard to say because New Japan wants the audience for the Best of Super Junior. They were gonna do the Best of Super. What's crazy? They have planned this. Like I'm like, this blows my mind that you were gonna be a part of New Japan even before the pandemic happened. Like all of that. That's what's insane. That's what's during the hard times. The fact that New Japan got this idea even before they really stepped up, and they were overlooked a lot. New Japan was overlooked because they didn't have enough talent. Now they're overflowing with amazing, powerful talent.
It's an amazing locker room, man. There's such great people there. They got guys like Blake Christian, Alex Zane, the Regal Twins, Barrett Brown, up and comers, Adrian Quest. You got, Brody King, Flip Gordon, Rocky Romero, Jeff Cobb, Kenta's there, Chase Owens, Jay White, like all these people that are on this New Japan Strong show. People just need to keep watching. David Finley. The list goes on and on. It's an amazing show with a huge locker room full of amazing talent. And, as far as your little question about the Super Juniors, I guess if people want to see me in the Super Juniors tournament, they just need to make it known. They just need to tweet about it. They need to talk about it, post about it. They need to let everybody know they want to see Danny LimeLight at the Super Juniors tournament. And I'm sure it'll happen. That's what I'm going to say about that.
All
I can't dive too much into it, But if they want to see it, their voices are very much heard by the important people in the right places. And if they want to see me somewhere, they just need to say it.
All right. Awesome. All right, let's step away from the New Japan stuff and let's get to, more about your wrestling career. Tell me the largest crowd you ever worked and the smallest crowd you ever worked.
Well, are we talking pay-per-view? Are we talking TV? Or are we talking about live in person?
Anything, man. Like, you could have wrestled
I think the largest crowd I wrestled in front of would be my debut for The Crash in August of 2016. Excuse me, 2015. I wrestled... Actually, no. It was definitely August of... It was the summer 2016. I wrestled in front of 5,000 people. The main event had Santo and Hijo de Santo flying in from where they're from to be in the main event. Rey Mysterio was on that show. Lince Dorado was on that show. Phoenix and Pentagon were on that show. I opened up that show. It was a one-on-one. Me and Douglas James opened the show in front of 5,000 people. I was only in for a year and a half as a wrestler. It was phenomenal. I hit the 450 splash for the win. Had my hand raised in front of 5,000 plus people. It was amazing. I'm having goosebumps now talking about it. That would probably be the biggest live show I wrestled in front of. Impact. I think it's the Impact show I went to. There was several hundred people. I've been, even when I wrestled at AAA. Now the 1,000 crowd is pretty normal for me, especially when I wrestle with AAA now in Mexico. They usually have 3,000 to 5,000 people in the auditorium. Yeah, man. So hopefully, one of these days when things go back to normal, I can head out to the Tokyo Dome and tear it up out there.
Of course, I would love to see that. All right, so you named a lot of people you've already wrestled. Name me a few people that you want to wrestle that you haven't wrestled, or you want to have a rematch. If you had one match with them and you want a rematch, who would that be?
All right, so if I have to pick 5 people right now that I want to have a singles match with, and they could be from any company, or they have to be like from New Japan, or they have to
any company, any
company,
anybody, yeah.
I want to have a one-on-one with Randy Orton. My dream match would be a one-on-one with The Rock, but I don't think that's possible of happening anytime ever. But that would be like my one dream match would be with The Rock. He's my favorite wrestler of all time. But right now, wrestlers that are active: Randy Orton, Ricochet, Will Ospreay. I want to have, if I have to think, you know what? I'm going to do people that are not signed, that can actually happen. In case somebody that hears this want to make it happen. All right, I want to wrestle Alex Zane. I want to have a third match with TJ Perkins. I want to wrestle Blake Christensen. Who else do I want to wrestle right now that's not signed? I want to wrestle JT Dunn.
That's a great one.
That's my boy. Shout out to JT Dunn. Last time I seen him, we was at the zoo in San Diego. We went to the zoo and shit, and then he got me. He put in a good word for me and got me to Rhode Island.
He should get you on House of Glory. That's one of we need you on there.
I just had an interview with somebody from House of Glory, like a podcast too. And I told him, I think it was a Raymond. I don't know if you know him. I told him. Yeah, and then so that's 4. If I have to pick a 5th person, singles match. I want to wrestle Flip Gordon.
Flip Gordon. All right, all right. I would love to see that. Alex Zane, TJP, Blake Christian, Flip Gordon. JT Dunn. All that insane matches. I would love to see that. Let's get that. People who are listening,
Let's do a
book it.
6-way scramble. Let's just do a 6-man.
Let's go.
Scramble all 6 of us in the ring. Let's fucking do it, right?
That'd be insane. Like a. What would you prefer? A gauntlet match or a scramble?
Let's do a scramble. That way we can all mix it up at the same time.
All right. That would be an insane high flying. I can't even imagine how that ring will be stable enough.
Yeah, that's gonna be insane, man.
All right, well, let's talk about merch. Like you said, merch is very important. In wrestling. Tell me about let's talk about your gear first. What made you decide to take the switch from the SpiderMan to home representative? Like what was the big change? And also what's your favorite gear from the SpiderMan?
It's just evolving. Times change. You change as a person. You change as a wrestler. Things change. Environments change. So just evolving, staying fresh, staying new for the fans, not letting them get tired of me. Shout out to Samantha Packer. She does all my wrestling gear. I can hit that woman up today, and I'll have 2 sets of gear by next week if I wanted. Awesome. She's that good. She's that fast. She does all my work. Nobody else is allowed to do my gear but her. And my favorite gear right now, she just made some gold gear for me. It's fire. I just, you guys will be seeing it on New Japan Strong soon enough. So that's my favorite gear right now. My favorite gear of all time would have to be my OG SpiderMans that I wore, the red and blues.
Yeah.
I sold those for $900 to a fan. So I no longer have them. Another good gear, I would say the SpiderMan 2099 gear that I wore for my Impact debut was pretty tight. And then I just sold my white Puerto Rican trunks that I wore for New Japan, my debut. I just sold those as well. So I've had a lot of gear. All my gear, I try to keep it tasty, flashy, make it look good, make it match with me and stuff like that, and fit who I am. So I try to keep my gear fresh, for the fans. So I usually sell all my gear. So if there's any fans that want gear, they can just hit me up. And as far as merchandise, one of my boys on Twitter, Naul, he does all my logos, my graphics, and then all my t-shirts are on prowrestlingtees.com/Danny LimeLight. I have all shirts there for $19.99 if anybody wants it. And I just try to put out new shirts as often as possible, so that way fans can always look forward to something coming from me. So yeah, man, I just try to stay fresh and stuff like that, bro. But it's all good. I'm not a hard person to find. If anybody wants to reach me, they can find me on Instagram or Twitter or TikTok at Danny LimeLight. I got a TikTok. I'm out there. You ain't gonna catch me doing none of them weird ass dances and shit, but you'll catch me on there, messing around on TikTok. So it's at Danny LimeLight on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. And again, prowrestlingtees.com/Danny LimeLight. And for any wrestlers that listen to this and they want to know where I get my gear at, Samantha Packer. Or if any fans want Danny LimeLight gear, they just hit Samantha Packer up, pay her, she'll send some stuff to you. You know what I'm saying?
All right, yeah. I'm gonna put all that information. If you didn't get it, I'm gonna put it all in the bottom below. So when you guys after this video, just go to the bio and you'll see all that information. I'll put it all up there. But I do gotta ask, one of my friends, DWO Customs, way back when he made your figure, he made a custom figure of you. I don't know if you remember that. It was like it was a long time ago. I want to know, when are we getting Danny LimeLight figures, plushes? When are we getting pops?
So I just want to take a second to thank DWO Customs. He had made several figures for me. We had an agreement worked out. I thought it was gonna be a consistent thing where I was having figures come in and out, but I think we ended up just making 7, and I sold 5 of them. My daughter got one, and now she has me hooking up with all her little Barbies and shit like that. I'll be chilling in my daughter's, she has a little Barbie play set, and I'll be sitting down with Barbies and stuff everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Malibu Barbies, right? You're living in the Malibu.
And then I'm just kidding. She just likes making Ken embarrass me. So she has fun with Ken and making me look silly. But she has my action figure, and then I have one action figure left that I kept for myself. As far as Danny LimeLight action figures, I guess time will tell. I think that eventually, somewhere I can figure something out, maybe with Ringside or some other companies that make action figures to get, a bunch of Danny LimeLight figures so I can start pushing those out for the fans. Again, people just need to let Ringside know, let all these action figure companies know they want Danny LimeLight merchandise, Danny LimeLight action figures, and if there's money to be made, somebody will jump on it, you know?
Of course. Look, you are one of the hottest independent wrestlers today. You know, your name, your matches have been all over YouTube. Like, I've seen your work maybe like 5 years ago already, 6 years ago. You know, you've been in the game. You've wrestled all the people. When are we gonna? It's the matter of, you know, when we're gonna see you sign, and it's gonna happen. Like, New Japan's already putting you up every Friday. That's already a good sign that they're looking at you and
Yeah.
like, he's got what it takes. I think any company will be lucky to have you. It just you know, we gotta wait for the right time, and then we'll see where you end up at.
Business move as well. I've had several contracts recently come across my desk from certain places. I'm just being very smart with my decision. I don't want to jump into something and regret it. I don't want to just, you know, sign to say I signed with a company, you know, AAA. Like, a few companies had like wanted to sign me, and this for me right now, I don't want to sign until I know it's the right fit for me. Mm-hmm. You know, there's still a lot of work to be done. I still have so much more I want to do with the Danny LimeLight brand, because what I don't want to happen is I don't want to sign somewhere and have to change my name.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing for me is keeping Danny LimeLight. And so I still have to build my brand. I still got to do a lot of work. And eventually, when the right paper comes across my desk, best believe I'm going to sign it. And then I'm going to be a motherfucking household name. And that's the goal, right?
Of course. It's good to hear that there have been contracts, you know, coming through to you. You know, you're looking at them. It's good because that's what I would expect. I wouldn't expect independent scenes to overlook, you know, the talent. I don't expect companies to overlook you. I already would have expected you being signed. The fact that you have contracts, the fact that you are taking it smart, you know, and, you know, there are a lot of companies that'll make you change your name. There are a lot of companies who will take your name, and then you can't get it back if you ever want to leave, you know. There's a lot of stuff going on with it. But it's good to hear that you want to stick with the independent scene for a while. You're not finished yet. There's still more for you to do. That's the most, you know, powerful thing to give up, you know. The paycheck is there, you know. Everything is there. It's all about, you know, your soul and how much it's worth. But I love that. All right,
Thank you so much. It's been a freaking pleasure talking to you, brother. I gotta take off. I got some things I gotta take care of.
We're about to end right here.
Fine. Hit me up whenever we'll reconnect in a couple months or something like that. Or next time you want to do another podcast.
Of course.
Because over these next couple weeks, I'm going to be on there a lot, and I'm sure we'll have a lot of things to talk about.
Tell us one thing, if you can. Tell us one thing. The next upcoming match that we have to look at. Who would you be versing? Can you give us that information, like a sneak peek kind of thing?
Tomorrow, NewJapanWorld.com. Danny LimeLight, DKC versus Adrian Quest and Rocky Romero. And I think if people pay attention and tune in, based off that match, they'll be able to see what's coming down the line.
Awesome. All right. Thank you everyone for listening. We'll see you guys next time.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really, really appreciate you guys sticking to the end. If you guys enjoyed Danny LimeLight's story, Danny LimeLight's journey, go watch more matches of him. All his information is in the bio below. All his Instagram, Twitter, all that. You can follow him on all those platforms right down there. If you want to support me in any way, same way, just right down there. You can support me on Instagram, Twitter, everywhere. And just watch Danny LimeLight versus Rocky Romero tonight. Or just watch Danny LimeLight's matches in general. They're amazing. He's a talented performer. Let's get him to stardom where he deserves. Thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you guys next time with a newer, bigger, badder, amazing new interview. And again, thank you so much for supporting me throughout this entire, pandemic journey. Even though, it is September and things are supposed to be moving again, you will still be getting more than one weekly video a week. And let's see what we can do. And I got some awesome guests coming in, some really, really cool ones that I just cannot name just yet. But as the time goes by, you will see it and you will enjoy. Thank you everyone for watching, and see you guys next time.